Welcome back to Viewpoint. With a referendum on abortion just weeks away now, we've spoken to Gibraltar for Yes. The local campaigners want the law being voted on in March to be approved. Spokeswoman Isobel Ellul told me what Gibraltar for Yes stands for and sought to challenge what they think are some misconceptions about their beliefs.
We've been in touch with all the other pro-choice groups in Gibraltar anyway for over a year now. And when the referendum was announced, we thought it was pertinent that we met. And in fact, some of us are in joint social media chat groups anyway. And the meeting started. And the alliance now is formally between No More Shame, which I'm a part of, the Secular and Humanist Society, Feminist Gibraltar, which actually been quiet, but they've been doing other things in the background related to domestic violence and consent and so on, and Choice Gibraltar, which was the first sort of official group to form in Gibraltar. And between us, we'll be organising various events, and certainly in the run-up to the referendum.
How do you view this issue, which has proved so divisive in our society in recent years, but is now 2 months away from being decided, or a month and a half away from having a direction laid for it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if we can sort of go back to basics, for us, it has always been a human rights issue. It's the right to choose whether you can have an abortion or not have an abortion, the right to bodily autonomy, i.e. I have a right to do with my body as I please, and so do you, men, women, everybody. It's reproductive rights, the right to decide when we want to have children or not. It's the right to access evidence-based healthcare that is informed, that is safe, that is compassionate, and that's at home. I mean, that's a fundamental right. Also the right not to be judged and for others to determine how we should or should not lead our lives and what to do and what not to do. And finally, you know, the right to access the facts and act on them, and in that we take inspiration from global organizations just like the World Health Organization, Amnesty International, the UN. What are the facts? The facts are that abortion has existed and been recorded ever since ancient times. Abortions are happening now. Women are spending money and are suffering and are going abroad because of it, and it's not going to stop. Those are the facts. In the wider world, if you look at the Amnesty International and WHO figures, there are women who are dying because of illegal backstreet abortions, women who are being imprisoned, health practitioners are also being imprisoned, and it's still not stopping. So those are the facts, and that's what we want to address. We also are part of a wider thing in terms of support and advocating sexual health advice and accessing our sexual health clinic, promoting safe sex, promoting consent. But finally, on the bodily autonomy thing, and this is something that has come up a few times, let me just turn the table round, and I'd ask you as a man. For instance, I know you're not going to answer because you're asking the questions, but if I were to say to you, the moment you were 16, the age of consent, we are now, you and all the other young men at the age of consent, going to perform vasectomies for you all, and when you decide you're ready to have children, we will reverse those vasectomies. How would you feel about that? How would men feel about that they have to have a vasectomy at 16?
Well, but that's not really a fair comparison, is it?
Well,
because it's not that all women have to have a procedure and then undo it.
But the principle of dictating what you can do and when to your body, and I think men would be horrified. I'd be absolutely horrified if my sons had to have vasectomies at that age. So it really is about non-judgment. And this whole debate for us, it's about, you know, equality, whether those who want to have an abortion, they can access it, and if you don't want to, you don't access it. And we have absolute respect for people who are anti-abortion. That's not a problem at all. but give the choice to those who do want to access that as part of a safe healthcare system. You know, it's about trusting women in their choices.
In terms of viability, what would you say to somebody, and I can think of, you know, a specific couple who have had a child at 23 weeks and whose baby has survived and so far is doing well?
Fantastic. I think it'd be wonderful, because that has been a very, in fact, look, over 99% of abortions take place under 12 weeks. Those abortions that come after the anomaly testing, when serious fetal abnormalities are detected, or even fatal fetal abnormalities are detected, and in fact those cases are referred to the United Kingdom for second opinions, those are actually very much wanted babies. It has always been part of a medical issue. And when you hear this idea of, well, the pro-choice groups are for abortion on demand all the way up to 9 months, that is actually an insult to the medical profession, because it is very clear what the law states. If you are referred to the UK for a second opinion and possibly a termination, it's up to 24 weeks. Further than that, the law is clear of up to 28 weeks if it is to save the life in an emergency situation of the mother. So let's try and put that aside. We are not for this abortion all the way up to 9 months. We are sort of about sticking to the law. And as I said, over 99% of abortions take place under 12 weeks.
We're just a few weeks away from that referendum vote now. On the one hand, people say that Gibraltar is becoming increasingly liberal with its views, but on the other, it is often said that it is a very traditional, conservative place. Where do you think the balance lies?
I think actually we're moving forward. I think Gibraltar is becoming more of a civil society, and I know that this is something that this government has been advocating for a long time. I think it is gaining momentum. The kind of support we're seeing, certainly from the younger generation, is incredible. They are very much empowered and glad that 16 to 18-year-olds can also vote in the referendum. And I think, and I hope that that the yes vote will go through. And I think it's an important opportunity then for all of us to work together, whether you are for abortion or not, because we would, in an ideal world, in an ideal scenario, hope that there would be no abortions at all, because every couple who is sexually active would be protecting themselves. They would be using contraception, which would be 100% foolproof. And that's something we can do together as a society. But the important, crucial point is that there is choice, and that abortion is at home, that it is legal, and that it is safe. And then we can actually do something about it, because we have some control over it as a healthcare authority and as a society.